little bit. Got back from the pub, sick. So, as a back player, there are two main formations to think about. Let's call this one the Y formation. I'm sure you can understand the Y. Okay, that was a bad joke. You can probably understand, you can probably understand why we call it the Y formation, because we're sitting here, our partner is up in front of us, not directly sandwiched in between the two guys over there, but he's pushing forward, right? So this Y position, this might be a little bit too far. Let's push him over here. So this Y formation is the more defensive of the two formations. Because let's pretend that, yeah, Il might be able to apply this as well. Let's pretend that both of these guys right here, they really want to hunt you. They really want your ass. They really want that overcost. But it won't be easy for them to actually get a hit on you for a couple of reasons. One reason is in order to get to you, who are sitting behind your partner, in order for them to get to you, they have to go through your partner first. So that's reason one. They have to get through your partner if they want to hit you. And if they go after your partner and hit them, then you support your partner. If your partner gets hit, you shoot at them. Blah 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 blah. Right? Very simple. Reason two, and this might be something that a lot of players don't think about, at least in the NA scene, but it's very important, is what is the difference between this kind of Y formation and this kind of Y formation? The difference is you can see both of your opponents without needing to change the camera. Because if you're over here, and suppose your partner is going after heavy arms over there, then you're supporting, you're throwing some stuff, but then you get shot by that guy. Why did you get shot? Because you couldn't see him. Well, you can see him now, but you couldn't see him before. So if you were over here, and then you're helping, you're supporting your partner, shooting at heavy arms or whatever, shooting at Kasi. The reason why they can't really get hit on you is because as you're firing at one person in your peripheral vision, not even in your peripheral vision, because you can probably see it pretty clearly. You can see who would be firing at you as you're helping support your partner without needing to change the camera. So that's very important. One of the fundamental things as a back player is being in the position to see both of your opponents at the same time without needing to change the camera. This will increase your evasion rate immensely. As long as you're being aware of both of the opponents at the same time. So not only can you see both of your opponents, but you can also see your partner. So you can see everyone's life, you can see where your partner wants to go. So your partner who's right in front of you, let's say he's going towards the back player, so he boost dashes to the right. You won't be sitting there being confused, being where should I go? Because you know exactly where he wants to go, so you move along with him. Yeah, it's something you should, it's rightfully so, Lobster. You should definitely aim to do this as much as you can. So this is the Y formation, the defensive formation. If you are about to die and your partner is at really good life, this is where you want to be. You want to be behind your partner, and you want to be able to see both of them. But probably more importantly, you want to be behind your partner. You don't want to just be able to see everybody. You want to make it so if they want to go after you, they have to go after your partner first. Oh, let me get a sip of tea. Okay, so that's the Y formation. The next formation is what was it called? The L formation. The L formation looks like this. I think you can understand just by looking at the minimap why it's called the L formation. So of the two formations, obviously this is the more offensive formation, because you are pretty far, or you're relatively far away from your opponent. But the return is that these guys are kind of pincered. Your opponents are kind of pincered in between you and your partner. So let's say that new Gundam is firing at, you know, C or heavy arms. So they need to like run away, or they need to like move around to dodge. But if they're moving around to dodge, then they might move towards you, and because of how vectors work, you know, they'll be moving perpendicular to new Gundam to dodge his BRs most effectively, but you are at the perpendicular vectors, so you'll be able to fire at them, and it becomes much more difficult to avoid. Let's see here, what else is there? The problem with this formation, obviously, is if you're not doing so good on health and your partner is doing really good on health, then it's possible that both of your opponents that you're looking at will come after you, because you are far away from your partner, and they'll gun after you, you'll die, your partner will get overcosted, you guys will lose the game, and then you'll be mad at each other. Maybe not the last one. But you see like how this L formation, even though this is the more offensive of the two formations, or the more aggressive of the two formations, we're still in the position where we can see both of the opponents at once. This formation right here, we can see both of them at once. Even though we're playing aggressively, we can still adjust. And as a back player, you definitely do not want to be in this position. I am very guilty of being in this position a lot as heavy arms, for a couple of reasons. One, it's rank shuffle, don't really trust my partner. Two, heavy arms is a very special suit in that he has like very evasive maneuvers, and I kind of have confidence in my ability to dodge things. Doesn't always pay off, but in order for me to contribute to the fight as heavy arms, I have to do more than just evade things. But fundamentally, you want to be in this kind of situation. This is the more offensive of the two situations, yeah. So let's say heavy arms is over there, and so let's say like it's kind of like a pseudo 1v1 situation right now. How should you move? Well, there are a couple of options. One option is you can go after heavy arms, try to 1v1 him. This might not pay off. You might lose, you'll lose life, and then your partner will be forced to run after you to save you. The other option is you can try regrouping, and instead of dealing with heavy arms, you can move back to the Y formation. And in this Y formation, it just so happens that the heavy arms is really far from us, and our partner is going after this guy. So let's double lock this guy until the heavy arms player decides to regroup. So actually playing back, or rather playing Gundam, a lot of it, you guys might just subconsciously realize it, a lot of it is just shuffling between offensive formations and defensive formations, with the ultimate goal of putting the opponent in a bad spot. And what qualifies as a bad spot? Well, maybe by moving in a certain way, you push them towards the corner. So the corner will be a very bad spot for them, regardless of what kind of formation you're taking. This is another reason why center control and fighting for the center is very important in Gundam. Because if you're in the center, you have the leeway to decide like what formation to take, how to move, which suit to go after. Because you have all this open space available to you. But if you're on the receiving end, let's say it's kind of hard if the opponents can't move at us. But let's say we're over here, right? Let's say our opponents are to the right of this building and to the left of this building. What do we do? So our partner is right here, our partner is standing here, and we are back here. Our opponents are to the right and to the left of the building. What formation is there? So we're forced into the corner. I guess we're in kind of a Y formation, but we're just gonna get fucked. We're pincered, and life is not good. Oh, TBD, you should just watch the archive. Hopefully, the audio doesn't get completely muted, because I'm playing Overworld in the background. But here, I'll just summarize real quick. I mean, it's not like I'm really doing anything. I actually have to hang up my laundry, but basic summary. As a back player, you want to... Man, they are way too far from each other. I should just mute the game. Let's just mute the game for now. So, back player, there are two main ideas to understand. Or not two main ideas, but many ideas. Here's one idea that you should really keep in your mind. You should be in a position where you can see both of your opponents on the screen at the same time, as well as your partner. Because what is one of the biggest reasons that people lose at low levels? The back player gets overcosted, or the back player dies, so the front player gets overcosted, and then everything is messed up. So how do you remedy that? The back player takes less damage. How does the back player take less damage? The back player just moves in a way where he doesn't get hit. Why do people get hit? Well, let's say you and your partner are going after this guy, and then you, the back player, get shot by this guy. The reason you got shot is because you couldn't see this guy, if only for a second. But that second is all you need to get hit by Garabi. So when you play, even when you're supporting, doing support fire, shooting at this guy, you try to be in a position where you can still see the other guy without needing to camera switch. So even when you're doing stuff like this, you can still look at the other guy and be like, oh, Garabi is coming, time to like move away. Do I ever local record? No, I don't. I'm on my laptop, I don't really have the space. Alright, so that's one main idea. And there are a couple of formations to understand as not just a front player, but as a back player as well. There's the Y formation. It's called the Y formation. Well, this is a really ugly Y formation. But you are behind your partner, and your opponents are... Well, you can see them. They're over there, and then they're over there on the right. The left and the right. And your partner is not really sandwiched in between the two guys, but he's in a position where he can kind of like choose who he wants to go for. So, what did I just say earlier? One of the reasons why people lose at low levels is because the back player dies first. So in this particular Y formation, if you were to take damage, then that would mean the opponents came after you. But in order for the opponents to come after you in this Y formation, they have to go past your partner. So your partner will have to take damage somehow. Or your partner will have to be brain dead for them to just like sail past your partner and double lock you. So in this Y formation, even if like they want to come after you, you know, they have to come after your partner, so Cassie starts firing at your partner, and then you, in your Y formation, you know, you get to like support, you get to shoot at the Cassie that's shooting at your partner. But what did we just discuss earlier? You have both of the opponents on the screen at the same time. So they're trying to get past your partner to come after you, but you're doing support fire to cut and, you know, mess them up as they're trying to shoot down your partner. But at the same time, you're also playing safe because you can see the both of them on your screen, so you can react if you ever need to. Like, say you're shooting at Cassie, who's shooting at your partner, but Heavy Arm starts shooting at you. Oh, well, we see Heavy Arm, so it becomes much easier to dodge. So that's the Y formation. The other formation is the L formation. Our partner is way too close to us. How do we make the L formation? We'll shoot this guy over there. Heavy Arms, don't tech forward, get over there. Alright, so the L formation. Okay, hold on. So what we discussed earlier was the Y formation. This is the more defensive of the formations, right? Because let's say you're at really low life and your partner is at full. You don't want to die, so you want to move into this situation where they have to get past your partner to come after you. And you know, you're behind your partner, they can't really double lock you. You can evade if they're firing at you, and you can help support your partner if you really need to. But this is a really safe place to be. The other formation is the L formation. Well, let's ignore the fact that we're in the win. So the L formation is the more offensive of the two formations. So here we have the two opponents' pincers, and notice how, like, even though we're playing, well, I haven't completely explained why this formation is offensive yet. You could probably gather why it's offensive, but even though we're playing offensively, we still have the basic concepts in mind, such as keeping everybody on the screen without needing the camera switch, so that you can react to the situation accordingly. So, you know, this situation is good in the offensive sense because your partner will start firing at one of these two guys, and then one of those two guys that are being fired at, they will probably be moving perpendicularly to avoid like the beam rifle or whatever. But who's at the perpendicular vector? It's you. So this situation is really good, yeah. For playing offensively anyway. But one of the main problems, obviously, is when you play the L formation, you're actually kind of far away from your partner, as opposed to the Y formation, where you're right behind your partner. So the L formation here, if you're not doing so good on health, let's say you're at like 200 life and your opponents and your partner's at 500 life, the opponents might double lock you, and there's not much you can do about it. You can try to run towards your partner, and your partner will have to scramble to run towards you to save you, but that's not really playing well, is it? You're not really asserting any kind of influence on the game. You're kind of just like running away scared because you have to manage the health. So when you're at really good health, or when you're managing health properly, then you can play the L formation. But if it starts getting kind of iffy, starts getting a little dangerous, then you can switch to the Y formation. And then when you guys are doing well again, you can go back to the L formation. Does that make sense? It sounds very simple once you explain it, but once to apply it in the real matches, it's very difficult. Especially rank shuffle. In rank shuffle, where does communication play in this? I'm glad you asked. So let's say we're in this kind of situation. We're I don't know, we just happen to be playing the Y formation. Now, as the back player, you'll be supporting your front player. So let's say that you have no communication with your partner, and your partner, how should I say this? You guys are throwing support. You're throwing support fire. You're Luna. You're shooting, just dancing around, trying to like get into a good position, and then your partner just starts blitzing the back player, right? You're dancing around, and then your partner blitzes the back player. So your partner goes over there. No. Your partner goes over there. So now you're in this kind of position. So this kind of position is it's not so nice. It's not great for either players, but it can be really iffy. So there is no communication. Your partner decides to go over there, and then you're over here, and you're like, there's this Cassie in front of me, and then Cassie is like, oh shit, Luna, and then he comes after you. This kind of situation happens in rank shuffle all the time because there's no communication and no one keeps formation. Are you calling for these formations, or are you supposed to see it? You're supposed, at high level, no. There's definitely communication. It's not you're saying I'm moving into L position or I'm moving into Y position, but you're saying stuff like, oh, I'm doing really good on life. Let's try to push heavy arms into the corner or something like that. So where communication plays into this is like, you're in this situation, I can't see heavy arms, and then your partner is like, okay, I'm gonna go after heavy arms, and you're like, aye captain, let's both go after heavy arms. So as opposed to the situation earlier where this happened, your partner's like, okay, I'm gonna go after heavy arms, let's go for the overcross, and you're like, alright, so you move with your partner to go after heavy arms. So notice how, like, just by saying I'm going after heavy arms, you're like, alright, let's move in this position so that we can get some damage on this guy. This is a much better position for us than this one. But yeah, that's the basic idea. I don't think I need to talk about anything else. This took a little bit longer than I thought, but hey, I love it when people are interested in the game, and I really like explaining things. But yeah, like, this formation stuff is you can almost always throw it out of the window in rank shuffle because no one plays by formation in rank shuffle. Everyone's just bad, just does their own thing. It sucks. It's one of the reasons why I get so mad playing rank shuffle. But you know, when you're in team hold, definitely try exercising these concepts. If you're a back player, try keeping both of the players on screen at the same time. If you're doing pretty good, Yeah, it's positioning 111. If you're doing pretty good on health, try moving into a pincer situation. If you're not doing so good on health, try moving into the Y position. Yeah, I was explaining a little bit about front play earlier, but you can watch the archive. And I'm not sure if the archive for that section will get deleted, but will get blocked, but I don't know. Let's see. I wanted to say something else, but what was it? Sounds like a lot of formation stuff is dependent on the back player. It is. It is. The front player's job, essentially, is he wants to move aggressively to push. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this for a second. So the front player has a couple of duties. One of his jobs is to, catch the other team's attention. He kind of wants to get double locked. He wants to get double locked so that you don't get double locked. He wants to get double locked so that you don't get hit and overcost him. So he's going to be moving forward, probably against the other front player. And your job as a back player is to support him so that as he's like trying to deal damage and keep their attention, you're there to support and make sure your partner doesn't take too much damage and maybe get some supporting fire. And at the same time, as your partner is moving at the opponents, you also want to put yourself into a good position to maybe sneak some free damage in, get into a good position, maybe put them into the corner. Stuff like that. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, right. So, let's say we are in this situation right here. So the opponents, right, they're essentially cornered. They're essentially cornered, and you're in this position, and your front player is there, right? So your front player is going to probably be boost dashing to the left or to the right, depending on like what his plan is. In the ideal situation, let's say the ideal situation where you have him cornered is you're like this, right? Or something along the lines of this. You want to make it so it's very difficult for them to dodge both of your attacks, and they don't really have anywhere to run but back even closer to the corner. So in this situation here, like, this L position here, this L formation is very good. But, well, besides that building being in our way. How does the opponent get out of this situation? Well, what the opponent does is they try to force their way out. Well, the best way to rectify the situation is to not be in it. Like, one of the essential points of Gundam Extreme Versus is fighting for the center, because if you do not have control of the center, you're probably running away, and if you're running away, then you might be running away into the corner, and if you're in the corner, then you get put into this ugly position where the opponent gets all this damage on you, and you have to risk so much to get out of it. So the opponents try to force their way out, or you guys screw up your positioning. That's the other way for the opponents to get out. So let's say New Gundam decides to boost dash to the right. He's boost dashing to the right. Okay. He boost dashed to the right. And then, there's no communication between you two. So, you're kind of dancing around, and then you boost dash to the right at the same time he did. Suddenly, the opponents have all of this space over here on this side to escape the corner. This situation happens way too often at all levels of play. A lot less in high level play, but like if you just like watch random replays, maybe even your own replays, it certainly happens in my games. Especially in Ranked Shuffle, we end up boost dashing into, or we're in a situation where, you know, we have him essentially cornered, but we happen to boost dash in the same direction when we really shouldn't have. Like perhaps the back player was doing good, so he should have boost dashed this way to start the pincer offensive. So if you watch random matches, you'll see someone will get cornered. Someone will get cornered eventually, and then he may escape. So what? A lot of the reasons, or most of the reasons that they escape are like, the main reason they escape is because of bad positioning. It's very difficult to force your way out in this kind of situation. Unless, if you're on equal levels, then it's very difficult to escape this position just by forcing your way out. But if the opponents fuck up their positioning, it becomes a free way out of the corner, you know? So this is very important to keep in mind. Like, you know, communication is important. But, you know, since the pace of the game is very fast, so your partner can't just constantly be like, I'm boost dashing to the right, I'm boost dashing to the left. As a backed player, maybe instead of just like committing like to one direction so much, like you might be doing this subconsciously, but maybe just chill around back here. Put yourself in a position where you can react to your partner as well as the opponents. And the reason why you can, in this position, the reason why you can react so well is because what was the first thing that we discussed? You have all three of the players on the screen at the same time. You can see both of them, you can see both of the opponents, so you can dodge any kind of incoming fire. You can react. If, like, say the heavy arms is trying to escape that way, you could move with him, start firing as well. But, you know, also, your new Gundam partner, you can react to the direction that he's boost dashing. So if your new Gundam partner boost dashes to the right, then, you know, maybe you can, like, move over here a little bit and start, like, some pincer attack or something like that. But yeah, notice how effective keeping all three of the players on screen at the same time can be. You have so much control. Obviously, you don't want to always just sit back here because your partner will get double locked in an unfavorable way. Your partner will get double locked and you can't save him. Your front partner kinda wants to get double locked, more like he just wants to catch their attention, and you want to be there to like sneak shots at them as they're like trying to shoot your partner down. And then when they decide to go after you, then you kinda, you know, react to the situation, maybe regroup with your partner or whatever, like stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's the gist. That's basically what I want to say. This is not easy. This is not easy to apply into matches. But, you know, just little by little, you should be aware of the reasons you lose. So, you know, you play a match, you lose, you're not completely sure why. Let's think about formation. Let's say, oh, did we get cornered? Oh, we got cornered. How could we have fixed that? We could have maybe not get that situation, but it's more like we could have play around the center more, try to take more control of the center, and you know it's not always your fault. it's can be, some of the weight falls on your partner as well. Like maybe your front partner was too passive, so your front partner might be like that Cassie over there, who kind of just like ran away too much and just put you guys into the corner. Because you know there's only so much the back player can do when your front partner is not trying to push the line. Because like at high level, or even at like mid level, the game it's very much a chess battle. Like let's say that everyone has perfect dodging, like you're probably not going to get a random Garo V against a good player. Like this is like shit like this won't win you. You won't just like dance around and then, oh, I Garo beat him, yay, we won. That's not how you're going to win high level matches. High level matches are won by you coordinating with your partner, putting yourself into a good position, and pushing your partner into a bad position. Which it means you're pushing your partner towards the wall or into a corner. You're taking control of the center basically. Fighting over the center is very important because when you fight over the center, you have the freedom to move in whatever formation you want. You have the freedom to evade, you have all the space behind you, you have the freedom to regroup. Meanwhile, those guys over there, they don't have any space to move, so they're going to be risking a lot to get out of that messy situation, and they'll be taking a lot of damage for doing so. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That took a while, but it's fine. I don't think I'm gonna play anymore tonight. I'm probably gonna call it. So, yep. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I love it.